All right, so I want to rant about taxes a little bit and what the problem with this country and taxes actually is. I keep hearing all sorts of stuff in the news about taxes, this and the rich taxes and then poor taxes, and this one's not paying enough and that one's not paying enough. And there's so much bullshit going around. I just wanted to talk a little bit and explain some things that I don't think are being represented properly in any part of the media. You hear this saying that the rich don't pay their fair share of taxes. And there's a lot of pushback on it because the rich actually do pay a lot of taxes. But what you never hear is you never hear it talked about in percentages. When you hear people defend the rich paying taxes, they always talk about how much taxes the rich pay. And they say they pay millions of dollars and poor people only pay, $100. And that's true. But the problem is, based off of a percentage of your income, the rich are not paying their fair share. This can be really complicated and nuanced, and we would have to talk about things like long-term capital gains taxes being lower than income taxes so that investment monies are taxed at a lower rate than income is taxed at. There's a lot of loopholes and things that are written into the tax code that you're only going to be able to take advantage of if you have the money to hire a really expensive accountant. There's another way that they don't pay taxes. So there's all these different ways. But one of the ways that the rich are avoiding paying taxes is just blatantly out in the open and right in front of our faces, and it's hardly ever talked about. And this is one of the biggest problems with the tax code in this country. And I'm going to illustrate it for you here right on the taxpolicycenter.org website. Now, this is a very reputable website, and they pull information from Office of Management and Budget. That is the actual government. That is the effective accountant of the United States. The Office of Management and Budget basically controls all the intake and all the output of monies that the federal government handles as directed by Congress. And they have a really informative little 4-page thing that I'm going to leave a link to, and you might want to take a look at it. It's really educational. And I'm just going to go over the first page of it here. And it says, what are the sources of revenue for the federal government? And about 50% of federal revenue comes from individual income taxes, 7% from corporate income taxes, another 36% from payroll taxes that fund social insurance programs. The rest comes from a mix of sources. So we have individual income tax. This is personal income taxes for everybody, the rich, the poor, the middle class, everybody. We have corporate income taxes. These are the taxes that businesses pay. So this is basically wealthy people only. There's no poor, there's no middle class sitting in here. This is the rich and the wealthy for corporate taxes. The social insurance payroll taxes, that's again us paying that. We pay Social Security, we pay Medicare insurance taxes. Excise tax, again, that's something that we all pay. You get some gas, you get some alcohol, you get some tobacco. You're going to pay a tax that goes to the federal government, and that's excise tax. But this is the issue here. This corporate income tax is only 7%. And that's a problem for us. And the reason that's a problem for us is because if we scroll down here and we take a look at this chart right here, sources of federal revenue, this is a historic chart that shows you exactly where the federal government gets their money from every year since 1950. Now, if you take a look, you notice that the income tax part, this one has stayed fairly consistent. It's gone up a little bit, but it's not that horrible. And this Social Security part, this has gotten a lot bigger. But what's gotten a lot smaller here? This corporate tax, the corporate income tax. They used to pay between 40, 70, they used to pay about 30%. They paid 30% of the federal government's budget in the 1950s. But right now, we have what, like 50 to 54? So we got like maybe 4% of the budget is coming from corporate income taxes. And this is the problem. We need to regulate this and get corporations and big businesses paying more taxes, because that's one of the ways that the wealthy people are avoiding paying their fair share. So when you hear that wealthy people pay income taxes and we have progressive taxes, so the more you earn, the higher percentage you pay, this is all bullshit. This is the truth, and it's in black and white, blue and white, or whatever you want to call it here. And it's sourced from the federal government themselves. It's not propaganda, it's the actual information on where the money is coming from as the government tells it. So you can see right here, this is the problem, is our share continues to go up and the corporation's share continues to decline. We need to fix that.